All right, here we go. We're doing it. It's college football. I put so much time and effort into this. I definitely get the least juice from this college football squeeze. Football, golf, fucking channel takes off. College football, people are like, fuck you. How dare you try to help me be profitable at a sport that no one cares about and there's a huge edge at. Fuck you. Anyways, tomorrow's slate. Here it is. I've color-coded and put even more stuff on there, and I realize that at first glance this seems overwhelming, but like college football DFS is overwhelming, right? And I'm trying to really narrow it down. So hopefully you are adjusted to the ownerships, like if they're going to be I color-coded it. So like I'm saying Jefferson, if you want to play him as a GPP, Sanders, the running back, he's a real big upside guy. He could be a nuts kind of play. And then you got and then you've got like your cash plays, right? Like if you want to play Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State, he's a great piece to put in your cash lineup, right? By the way, I want to be clear on this. On your cash lineups, make sure you're not like stacking or correlating or worrying about that. Literally just try to get 7 nuts plays in there, right? Just 7 guys with very high floors and very high ceilings. That's what you want. And definitely want 2 quarterbacks, one at the quarterback spot, one at the super flex. Make sure to do that. For the flex, a wide receiver or a running back works at college. If it were NFL, I would say you want to definitely lean towards wide receivers. But college, running backs just go ham in college so much more than they do in the NFL. So really the only thing I added that's new is I added a pink line here, which means it's a sneaky game, like a game that could turn into a shootout that people aren't expecting. There's only 2 of those. Maybe I did 3. Okay, I lied. I did 3 of them. 3 sneaky games. I got the purple games, which are the games that I'm personally going to be targeting for my stacks, right? Because I do think you want to play stacks and hope you get on those 1 or 2 games that end up being a shootout. And then other than that, really the only thing that's new that might be a little intimidating, I'm watching the Louisville game right now. Okay. So the only other thing that's new are these little numbers next to them. Now that we're starting to get some data out, now that they have games, we can go look at snap counts, which is really important, right? Like right now, I played this fucking Hudson guy from UCF, and he hasn't been on the field once. So I guess there's no injury report. I was checking everything, and I guess he's just fucking in academic trouble or something, which sucks because, I really liked my lineup tonight, and now it's basically dead. Anyways, so you can see here, this is a PFF where I'm getting all my totals from. And, we want to play guys that are on the field. So what you can do when you're looking at this is if you're wondering, well, how much are these guys playing? Well, every time there was a quarterback, I would put how many total plays they were on the field and then how many of those were pass plays. So you have a pretty good idea that Arkansas ran 73 plays last week, and this Sanders guy was on the field for 57 of those plays. That's a huge chunk for a running back. So that's the kind of percentage. That's like a bell cow back type of percentage, right? Furthermore, the running backs, we got to look at multiple things with them. We want to know how many of the times were they on the field for pass plays, right? Because when they're on the field for pass plays, that means that they get chance for targets. And then that last number is targets. So, he was on the field for 25 pass plays. He got 4 targets. That's not bad. But we also need to know how many times are they on the field when they run the ball. And he was on the field for 21 of those run plays. So as you can see, he is the definition of a bell cow back, right? Whereas if you go over here to somebody like Missouri, you see Cook, their quarterback, he was on the field for 65 plays last game. Yet their running back only was on the field for 35 plays, right? Only 8 pass plays, 16 run plays. So Schrader ain't getting much work out of the backfield. He was only on the field for 8 plays that they passed, and of course only got 1 target. If you're wondering why I did them in that order, because it's the same fucking order it was on PFF, and it was just easier. And I had a lot of information to collate. So there you go. That's what all these numbers mean. Don't be intimidated. Just spend 10 minutes getting to know it. I'm doing this to help you, not to fucking overwhelm you. When you're deciding, do I want to play somebody, and you're looking, you're like, do I really want to pay? Here's a good example. Wake Forest has a 39-point total tomorrow, right? And Hartman's back, who's their stud quarterback. But then you go look at these 2 running backs. Oh, they're expensive, $7,400, $7,200. That's expensive over on DraftKings, right? And you look and you see that, like, last week they ran roughly 60 plays. I don't have that on there because of Hartman. Normally when I don't have a quarterback, I just go ahead and put how many plays they ran. Like, where's a good example? I fucking have one on here. Hold on. I'll find one. You chill out. Oh, yeah, like Iowa, right? Don't play Iowa's quarterback tomorrow. But in case you're wondering for comparison, they ran 61 plays, 28 pass. If you're wondering about Colorado, 73 plays, 49 pass. Wisconsin, because you don't want to play Wisconsin, Colorado, or Iowa's quarterback. It's just dead money. So I don't even put them on the list for you to consider. But if you're looking at these Wake Forest guys, there was 60 some odd plays. I mean, look, the wide receivers played 48, and both of these guys are basically in a perfect time split, a 50-50 time split. And you don't want a 50-50 time split with guys that are hardly getting any targets when you're paying $7,000. So, I mean, you can play him as a punt in a GPP, but Jesus, if you're going to punt, go punt on a $3,000 guy, not a $7,000 guy. But with that said, notice that's purple. That's one of the games that I think is a pretty good game to target. I think Vandy will score some points, and that will keep Wake Forest pushing. I really like Hartman with a Perry Green stack. If you want to go a little bit different, check out Morin. That's a really good stack that you could run right there. If you really want to get clever, it's pretty easy to run it back with Vandy as the quarterback because he's only 5,400, and then Shepard. That would be the other one. Another game that I personally am not going to stack, but I think people should consider stacking it, so I made it purple, is the Bama versus UT. I talked about this on the YouTube video I just made. I think it's going to be a blowout, and I think Bama's going to play 2.5 quarters. But if UT can push Bama and you get almost 4 full quarters out of Bama, well, then they start to become the nuts play, right? Young, Gibbs, Burton, they all end up having super big upside, right? And you can see Burton 7 targets last week, Holden 7 targets last week. The one thing you can say about Bama's offense is it does seem to be a bit more concentrated this year. They're not sprinting around as much, at least through one game, which what the fuck can you really tell from that? But from our small sample. Plus, Bijan Robinson and Worthy are really good run backs. If you think that Texas can keep it close, I personally don't. Texas fucking sucks. I'm not really that interested in this Southern Miss Miami game. You know, if anything, I'd take a flyer as a one-off on this Parrish, this running back, just because he was on the field for a lot of plays, and it seems like he'll get 20 touches. That's what it seems like. Penn State, I just worry about them blowing them out, but Tinsley does seem to have a nice, safe floor. If the game gets competitive, he has even more than that. Hey, is that him there? Is that my guy? How many? Everybody's catching a pass except my guy. The guy who was literally on the field 95% of the plays last week. He must have ran his mouth to the coaches. Okay, I don't like Marshall Notre Dame game. I will say Notre Dame, Mayer is an All-American tight end at 3,900. He seems pretty safe to get like 10 to 15 points, right? Like with that big of a total. I don't think he has a ton of upside, but you don't need a ton of upside at 3,900. So if you need a punt in your last spot for your flex or your wide receiver, check out Mayer. Buckner's a fair price, but I don't like to play quarterbacks that don't have potential to be in a shootout. And with as good as Notre Dame's defense is, there's no way this house could shoot out. Tennessee, I think Hooker is a fucking fantastic price. All you have to really worry about with him is, are the running backs going to get too much of it? Because I do think Tennessee will score at least 35 points tomorrow. I think a naked Hooker, not a comment I thought I would say today, but Hooker, played by himself, a.k.a. a naked hooker. You would have thought I came in with that joke, but I didn't. Okay. Don't stack him with anybody. It's too hard to predict who he'll throw to. He's not an easy guy to correlate, but he is okay to play by himself, a.k.a. a naked hooker. And this is driving me nuts, so I'm going to go fix that real quick. Pitt, you can run it back. I think Clovis is a good run back in a GPP. I don't like any of these guys in cash. Texas A&M, I actually think Texas A&M, looking at their week 1 stats, they were very concentrated. Like, a chain was as inefficient as he could possibly be. Look, they ran 61 plays, the quarterback did. A chain, I assume that's how you say it, was on the field for 59 of those. 24 pass plays, 20 run plays, 2 targets. I mean, that's a lot of touches for a guy at 6,800 in a very favorable matchup. So tomorrow, there's some really great running back options. I think tomorrow's a good day to look to go 3 running backs in cash. 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 3 receivers. That's what I'd be looking to do because these running backs, there's 4 running backs in particular that I think you got to play in cash. Well, like, you obviously can't play them all, but you should pick 2 or 3 of these 4. You got to look at Vaughn. You got to look at a chain. You have to look at Brown from Illinois, and you have to look at Allen from Wisconsin. I don't see how you don't play at least, at minimum, 2 of those guys. I will probably make my cash lineup with 3 of those guys with 2 quarterbacks. And then I'll probably punt with, like, Mayer just because I can save some money and one other, like, low-floor tight end. There is this guy from Washington State for cash. I'm all over the place, guys. Fucking deal with it, okay? Oh, yeah. 4,500. Look at this. He was on the field for 67 plays, 41 run plays. He had on 18 of the run plays, and he got 3 targets. I mean, that's pretty fucking safe for a team that's going to be in a script that's going to have them playing from behind. And at 4,500, he seems pretty safe to get like a 12-point floor or something like that. And you never know. If Washington State is competitive, maybe he ends up becoming a great smash play. All right, back to where I was. This Wisconsin-Washington State game, I kind of like a sneaky Washington State stack with a run back of Allen. I know Wisconsin has a really good defense, but, that's a total GPP play. Try it if you want to. Remember, I mean, I would just pick your 3 or 4 stacks and go with those. Air Force, Colorado, very out on this game. Just not interested. Iowa and Iowa State, just too low of a total. Maybe you consider a one-off with Hutchinson, but shit, 5,800. I'll just go take one of the wide receivers that I can stack with one of my quarterbacks, so fuck that. All right, these last 2 down here for DraftKings are both really good games to target. I personally like this Houston Tech game. I like Smith at quarterback. He came in last week, and he did really well. The problem is it's not clear who to pair him with. I will say this White guy is a wide receiver on DraftKings, but is a running back over on FanDuel, so that may be a way to get sneaky different over there. If you're going to play Smith, a Tech stack, I would mix and match him with these wide receivers, and then I would run it back with Toon, Dell, and Golden. That's what I'd be doing. That's a pretty sick stack, because that game right there could be a 56-49 game. Am I telling you that's what it's going to be? No, but I'm saying it has a potential. UVA and Illinois have a pretty decent high total, but I think both these teams fucking suck, and teams that suck don't seem to score as many points, I've noticed. If I had to play somebody here, I would go with the Brennan and Wick stack, run it back with Brown. That's what I would do if you think that game's going to be a shootout. It's probably, for me, just a one-off game. I'm just going to take Brown, eat that chalk, put him in my cash lineup because, man, look at that. He through 2 games, because if you're wondering why his are 0.5, they've played 2 games, so I just took the average. Of his average, he's on the field 75% of the time. He's out there for 23 of the the pass plays, 28 of the run plays, and he's getting 2 targets. At 6,400, that kind of volume with a 31-point implied team total, I mean, you just can't beat that, right? We have there it is. Okay. We have 4 games that are FanDuel only. Kentucky versus Florida. I feel like this game might be a little bit grinded out, but Robinson getting 8 targets is pretty nice. If I'm going to play a game on FanDuel, you got to attack this USC game. This one has shootout written all over it. Caleb Williams at 9,600 is laughable. You almost got to put him in there at your cash. And, probably pair him up with Addison, who at 9,700. Let's not forget, that's the frickin' Biletnikoff winner from last year. So you got to be interested in that. Run it back with Smith if you want to in a GPP. I feel like that's a pretty good choice. Also, USC has some nice punt receivers. Mario Williams from my Sooners. Fuck that guy. Hudson, these are guys to consider as if you want to double stack Caleb. But I will say Caleb gets a lot done with his legs, so he might only be able to support one big-time receiver getting there. So that's up to you. Oklahoma State, you know how I feel about my boy Spencer Sanders. He's already done me real good at cash once this year. I think they probably get back to Dominic Richardson. They're really good running back. Presley is their number 1 receiver who had a pretty disappointing first game. But I will notice this. He was only on the field 32 plays, but on those 32 plays, they passed 28 of them, and he got 8 targets. So when he's out there, they're going to fucking throw him the ball. So if you think this game's going to blow out, a Sanders-Presley stack could be pretty sneaky. And, if this game does shoot out, that means one thing. That means Emory Jones from Arizona State's getting it done. So the only way I'm playing a Sanders-Presley stack is if I'm running it back with Jones, because I don't see any way Arizona State can keep this game close unless he's going ham. That's just how I see it. I think, and if he doesn't go ham, well, then I doubt. Then Oklahoma State's probably playing conservative, and Sanders and Presley aren't a good stack anyways. You would have been better just playing a naked Richardson. All right, last game, BC and Virginia Tech. Not interested at all. Not interested at all. It's a low total. It's some boring-ass teams, not electric. I'm out. I am going to be focusing on, why do these motherfather colors quit changing? There we go. I'm going to be focusing on these games in purple. And then if you want some sneaky games that are stackable that no one's going to be stacking, it's the ASU-OSU game. Washington State, Wisconsin. Remember, that game right here, the Arizona State, Oklahoma State, that's only on FanDuel. And then Arkansas, South Carolina, right? If it has both salaries, that means it's on both sites. There's 10 common games. Each slate has 14 games. 10 of them are common. That idiot's just standing out of bounds. He just caught the ball standing out of bounds. B. Smith. Be better. Okay. I I think that's it. So, and then we got our ownerships here. Basically, if I think they're going to be over 25%, I call that high ownership. If I think they're going to be between, what did we make the cutoff? 13 and 25%, I make that moderate ownership. And if I think they'll be below 13%, I just put them at low ownership. So you can have an idea, right? Like, yes, Deuce Vaughn's going to be very good tomorrow, but everybody knows that. So he's going to be high owned, right? So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully there's some more overlays tomorrow. There were definitely some overlays tonight, so we'll have to see. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. If you're wondering what the hell all these numbers are, I already talked about it, and I made a key up here for you, right? So those numbers are there to help you, just so you can quickly reference them and not have to go do the work. I'm trying to make this as user-friendly as possible. I want you to spend maybe, 30 minutes to an hour making your football lineups and your choices instead of, 2 fucking days like I do. So that's what all this is. And once you get used to it and the colors and everything, I'm going to keep these colors the same every week. The spreadsheet will start to be like second nature to you, right? It's like when you see one of those NFL offensive coordinators and they have the play sheets and there's fucking lines and colors and everything everywhere. And at first it's probably really intimidating, but to that guy, it's like, it's like reading a fucking picture book. It's a piece of cake. So that's what this is. Don't be intimidated by it, right? I just keep adding a little bit more every week. That's it, man. That's it. Good luck tomorrow. Shoot me DMs if you have questions. I hope this helps. I appreciate all you guys being a part of this Discord. Very excited for NFL this weekend. Please make a point to come hang out with me Sunday at noon, the Lord's time zone, as the NFL starts. Those early games, I will be on here streaming. That and the emergency stream for golf are the only 2 streams I'm going to do, as streams were killing me. And so be here for that. We'll be talking late swaps. We'll be talking shit. I will be doing a drawing for a Millionaire Maker ticket that we'll do together. So come check it out. It'll be a good time. We'll drink some ranch water. We'll cheer on our lineups. We'll bitch about the chalk getting there. Although I got to tell you, I might play a little chalk this week. I've already decided there's some chalk that I'm eating, but there's going to be a few my stacks are going to be contrarian, right? And then I'll eat some chalk with like my secondary correlated plays. So there you go. That's where I'm at right now. Waiting on John Galt to stop being drunk, and we're going to make that NFL preview video. So it's his birthday. We'll give him a pass. Tell John happy birthday. I'll talk to you.